Hello, my name is Regina Campbell, and I'm an attorney at the Legal Aid Society of Greater Cincinnati. In this video, I will share some important information about your Medicaid. During the pandemic, Ohio had special rules to keep people on Medicaid. Your Medicaid coverage could only be stopped for a very few reasons. This means that many people were able to get and keep Medicaid insurance during the pandemic. Even those people who went back to work and were then over income for Medicaid kept their coverage. These special rules have now ended, and Ohio is getting back to normal with Medicaid. I want to spend the next few minutes telling you what that means for you as a person on Medicaid. The first thing this means is that you must once again complete a yearly recertification or renewal. You need to do this so that the Department of Job and Family Services can see if you are still eligible for Medicaid. During the pandemic, the recertification requirement was stopped. Now we are getting back to the process that was in place before the pandemic. If you were on Medicaid before the pandemic, you are already familiar with the recertification process. Ohio is restarting the recertification process this month, March 2023, but not everyone will renew all at once. Each month, part of the Medicaid population will be scheduled to recertify. Your recertification month is usually the month of the year when your Medicaid coverage originally started. Over the next year, everyone on Medicaid must go through this process. The good news is that Ohio has adjusted its process to try and recertify many more people through an automatic renewal. The Department of Job and Family Services has access to many databases with a lot of the information needed to verify your eligibility for Medicaid. If they can get everything they need from these databases, you will not even get a recertification packet. You will only get a letter that says your eligibility for Medicaid has been confirmed and your coverage will continue with no changes. So, if you get one of these approval letters, this is great news. This means that JFS found you eligible without you filling out a recertification packet. We hope that this will happen for many people. If JFS cannot recertify your Medicaid through the automatic process, they will send you a recertification packet. This packet contains a notice with information and the form you must fill out and return to your county JFS. The form will ask you for information about you and the members of your household. Information like your address and the income of everyone in the household. You may have to give JFS some of your pay stubs to verify your income. You must return the recertification form by the deadline in the notice. If you do not, JFS will start the process to terminate your coverage. You will get a reminder notice to turn in the form. Then you will get a termination notice. If you do not turn in the form by the date in the termination notice, your Medicaid coverage will end. When you return the form and any verifications JFS asked for, they will then review your eligibility for Medicaid. You will not have an interview with a JFS worker. That is not required for Medicaid. If you are over income for the program or ineligible for any other reason, JFS must send you a termination notice. That notice will tell you the reason you are no longer eligible for Medicaid and when your coverage will stop. If you think the decision to stop your Medicaid is wrong, you have the right to ask for a state hearing. In a state hearing, a hearing officer will review the action of JFS and decide if it was correct or not. Your hearing rights are explained in the termination notice. There will be a form with the notice that you can use to ask for a state hearing. If you get notice that your Medicaid will be terminated and you think that decision is wrong, you can call Legal Aid at 513-241-9400. We will review your eligibility. If we find that you are still eligible for Medicaid, we will help fight the termination. Please call us as soon as you get the termination notice. One of the most important things that you can do right now is make sure that your county JFS has your current address. Many people moved during the pandemic, and because you may not have done a Medicaid recertification for several years, you may not have thought to update your address at JFS. If they do not have your current address, you will not get the notices about your recertification, and your coverage may get terminated. Again, if you receive a Medicaid termination notice that you think is wrong, call Legal Aid at 513-241-9400. Thank you for watching.